go.
All right. I'd like to call this session of the Zion City Council to order. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes? Present. Commissioner Fisher?
Here.
Commissioner McDowell?
Here.
Commissioner Frierson?
Here.
Mayor McKinney?
Here. Mr. Brimner, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Proudly, sir, proudly. Would you all please rise to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, sir.
You may stand. Pastor Carlson.
Pastor Carlson's not here. It's been delayed from the rain.
First of all, thank everybody for coming out in this rain, the monsoon that we had. I would offer that we have a moment of silence. I thought, Mr. Brimner, you made a great point last council meeting about honoring our fallen officers. So I'd like to, in a moment of silence, not only honor our officers, our first responders, and the people that represent our country, our servicemen, with a moment of silence in prayer or thought. Thank you. Commissioners, do we have any agenda changes? No changes. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved. Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Frierson?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye. Citizens' comments? Mr. Brimner?
Thank you, sir. Mayor McKinney, honorable sirs, gentle ladies. Before I begin, sir, I request a rather unusual favor from the mayor. Sir, I respectfully request that our two chiefs, Chief Henderson and Chief Lewis, bring the flag from the dais down here to the lectern to help with my remarks. Thank you. You two will stand fast. Ladies and gentlemen, a few moments ago you joined me in honoring our flag by pledging allegiance to it. But have you ever wondered what our flag might say in response to all that? I have done some research, and this is what I believe, if our flag could talk, that it might say in response. You all know me. I am the flag of the United States of America. I am your flag. My name is Old Glory. I stand atop some of the world's tallest buildings. I stand watch in America's halls of justice. I fly majestically over great institutions of learning. I stand guard with the greatest military power in the world. Look up, ladies and gentlemen, and see me. I stand for peace, honor, truth, and justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident and I am proud. And when I am flown with my fellow banners, my head is held a little higher, my colors are a little truer. I bow to no one. I am recognized all over the world. I am saluted. I am respected. I am revered. I am loved and feared. For more than 200 years, I have fought in every battle of every war. Gettysburg, Shiloh, Appomattox, San Juan Hill, the trenches of France, the Argonne Forest, Anzio, Rome, the beaches of Normandy, the jungles of Guadalcanal, Okinawa, Tarawa. I fought in Korea, Vietnam, and in the heat of the Persian Gulf, and a score of other places long forgotten by all but those who were there with me. I led my soldiers, my sailors, my airmen, and my Marines. I followed them, I watched over them, and they loved me. I was on a small hill on Iwo Jima. I was dirty, battle-torn, and tired, but my sailors and Marines cheered. I was proud. Now I have been soiled, burned, torn, and trampled on the streets of countries that I've helped to set free. It does not hurt, for I am invincible. But I have been soiled, burned, torn, and trampled here in the streets of my own country, and when it is done by those with whom I have served in battle, it hurts. But I shall overcome, for I am strong. I have slit the bonds of earth, and from my vantage point on the moon, I stand watch over the frontiers of space. I have been the silent witness to all of America's finest hours. I have flown over the top of the World Trade Centers, and after September 11, 2001, I have flown over its rubble to remind the evil in our world that my spirit will not be crushed. The American people will not be broken. But my finest hour comes when I am torn into strips to be used as bandages for my wounded comrades on the field of battle. When I fly at half-mast to honor my soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines. And when I lie in the trembling hands of a grieving mother at the graveside of her fallen son or daughter or husband. I am proud. My name is Old Glory. Long may I wave, dear God, long may I wave. Color guard, please post the colors and then stand down. Permission to stand down, sir.
Permission granted. Item number 6, consent agenda.
Approval of minutes of a regular meeting held on June 18th, 2019 at 7 p.m. Bills, vouchers, 132397 through 132499, drawn on Huntington National Bank. Total $641,960.48.
We approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye. Item number 7, consider passing resolutions as follows. Authorizing the intervention of council and property tax assessment proceedings for the City of Zion, Illinois, per Administrator Nabel.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. This resolution just allows, just appoints Doug Galdo, group of our attorneys, to be able to represent us to the Property Tax Appeal Board. Should we ever want to intervene on an assessment challenge from any property over $100,000, we basically have a right to take part in the appeal to protect the revenue that goes with that. So this is just a formality of allowing them to intervene on our behalf.
Is there a motion?
I'll move to approve this authorization appointing Delgado as for tax assessment proceedings.
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye. Item number 8, discussion, authorization, and approval. Item 8A, consider approval of memorandum of understanding with the Lake County Sheriff's Office to participate in the Lake County Special Investigations Group.
Mayor and Commissioners, you have before you that MOU from the Lake County Sheriff's Office. They have asked us to join in partnership with the Special Investigations Group, which consists of obviously the Sheriff's Office, several other local municipal agencies, and several federal partners. They have been an extremely effective unit in our area and are seeking to continue to work closely with us. They believe that our team can be a great asset to them. I believe it offers a unique opportunity for us to strengthen our ability to particularly effectively target violent crimes, criminals, drug crimes, gun crimes. Some of the tools and resources that they can bring to bear are simply ones we can't, but we can obtain through this partnership. I don't believe it will disrupt in any service to our citizens or effectiveness of investigating our own issues. They will continue to do those investigations while assigned to that unit.
Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve the MOU with the Lake County Sheriff's Office.
Second.
Is there discussion?
I had a question in terms of the term. What's the period of 2 years? Is that a standard kind of thing for something like this?
A lot of our MOUs are open-ended, like for other task forces are with. The MOU also offers some severability provisions if either or both parties decide to terminate the agreement before that. I don't see any operational reason that would prohibit us from agreeing to that 2-year term. And I don't see any reason that wouldn't be renewed after that.
Other discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye. Item 8B, consider approval of contract for services with Kane, McKenna, and Associates to prepare TIF eligibility report and TIF redevelopment plan for Route 173 TIF district.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. The city is currently looking at establishing a new TIF district along, basically starting out where Green Bay and 173 is, including the ball field, running all the way east along 173 to Lewis, and then going south between Kenosha and Lewis, catching Station 2, the high school area, David Park, so kind of creating that whole industrial area, also capturing along 173 where Grand Appliance was for redevelopment opportunities, and that whole kind of industrial park behind there. So this agreement is with Kane McKenna and Associates to do all of the eligibility studies, draft they have to look at all the residential properties within the area, make sure it meets criteria for EAB, all the stuff. So they would draft the eligibility report, and then we would move on to having all the requirements under the TIF Redevelopment Act for public meetings, public hearings, et cetera, as a second phase once we know the eligibility report that the properties are eligible. We currently have a $5,000 credit balance with them for the last work they did for us on TIFs. Basically, we engaged them. It took less than what they were anticipating because they did 2 at once, so they got some efficiencies. We have a credit balance with them that'll be applied first. These funds, the funds to do this will be paid out of general fund initially, but it is reimbursable to ourselves out of TIF funds once there's actually increment in that district. So it would be a 23-year TIF that we're looking at, and basically, like other TIFs, we have to encourage and incentivize redevelopment of businesses and distressed properties within that area. So I'd recommend that we go forward Kane McKenna Associates to start the process for creating that TIF district.
Is there a motion?
I'll move to approve retaining Kane McKenna and Associates Incorporated to prepare the TIF district.
Second.
Discussion?
David, has the TIF board weighed in on this particular district? Do they have an opinion about it?
Actually, they're in support of it, and probably 6 years ago or so, it was actually going to be part of a TIF with Trumpet Park, but when we went through the process, we found that the ComEd right away actually divided that area, so we couldn't do a single TIF for that entire area. We had to do 2 separate TIFs. So we got the Trumpet Park one recorded. Now we're coming back around for basically the rest of the area.
So was it a unanimous decision? Did the school boards object to establishing a new TIF?
Well, we haven't reintroduced it back to that. That'll be part of the public hearing to have the actual school boards on there. But we
have reps from the school board.
Right. We have to see if there's even eligibility to do this before. Basically, it's split into 2 tasks on here. So task 1 is seeing the eligibility, defining the boundaries, seeing what was included. Some of the feedback that we did get from them individually was part of the reason that we were looking at including David Park and the high school in there is potential infrastructure improvements and things down the road, because it is a 23-year, to basically reinvest that back in there to try and maybe get some tax benefit or tax relief by using TIF rather than general tax levy dollars for those things.
Yeah.
But that'll all be part of the eligibility report that we present to the TIF commission for approval. To then, if they don't support it, then it'll still come to council to see if you want to go forward with it. But once we work out those details, we'll have more feedback from them.
Thanks.
Administrator Nabel, this is also when applying for this TIF district and looking at this was part of the comprehensive plan, the updated comprehensive plan, this area we're talking about?
Correct.
Okay. Further discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Mayor Kinney?
Aye. Departmental commentary?
I'm sure you've seen our contractor for our patching has started today. All this rain, they may not be able to work tomorrow, so then they would skip off and start again on Friday. We're talking about 3 to 4 days of work. But they completed 23rd Street and half of 173 today.
From which half of 173?
From Sheridan to Galilee.
Okay. And the other half will be?
To Horn. There's some.
I think the rain is going to delay them because they cut some areas, but
Yeah, they ran out of mix. Some of the problem is there was an incident at Peter Baker there a couple days ago. I don't know if you heard about it in the news. They had one of their flag people killed. So their plant was kind of shut down. So the contractor was getting it from Payne and Dolan, which is in the north, so it's a farther run. So they were struggling to get as much mix as they could. So it slowed them up a little bit, but they're anticipating getting everything done.
Director Roberts, I had a phone call today or a message that asked about our spraying program and the cost of spraying with the amount of rain that we've had. And I guess one of the things I'm asking too is, are there ways? I know the Lake County Health Department put out a notice on how to deal with the West Nile virus, which was reported in Highland Park. And so if we have some advice that we give our citizens in terms of...
It is your typical, make sure any buckets or anything that are holding water around your yard, try and get rid of those. If you have puddles, you could try and sweep those puddles out. It's just any little area where you have water held, that's where mosquitoes are.
Tires, things of that nature.
Tires,
People have tires in their backyard too.
It's difficult, but then again, in your own backyard, if you have buckets and stuff like that, it keeps it out of there. Bad thing about spraying is when it rains again, it kind of washes it away. Knocks down it initially, but then,
Okay. Director Ironson?
Just an update, we just recently started our next round of demolitions through the most current housing grant we have. First of 4 is down. Once we complete this 4, it'll be 22 that we have done since 2016.
Another question. With the rain, it's some of the comments that I've gotten from people about some of the long grass in the areas. Karen's back there laughing about it, but just that usually people call the city about sometimes complaining to us about our care and watching over long grass, but because of the rain, it's kind of hurts your crews in terms of being able to get out.
Yeah, because of the weather, we actually got a late start with our crew, and we only have half the crew that we normally use. We still actually have a couple positions open for applicants that would be interested, 18 years or older. We're looking for a couple people that could work through the October.
We have supported that program also with public service personnel. However, we're driven off of how many people show up daily. So we could get 3 one day and 20 the next. So.
And what do those positions pay?
The crew is 1025.
$10.25 hourly. So if we have citizens.
If you have neighbors or some nice youth that attend your church that you know about that is interested in it, we have the positions available. We've had advertisements out since February, and it's just really difficult for us to get individuals coming in that want to do the lawn care services. So we have approximately 2 positions available right now, and then we have 2 individuals that will go back to college in August. And so we would like to see if we can get a total of 4 additional ones. So any youth that you know, doesn't necessarily have to be youth, as long as they're minimum 18 years of age and they're eager and they're dependable and willing to learn, we'll train and teach them.
And who do they contact to apply?
They can contact me personally, or they can go on our email, our website. It has the information on there. We have our job application on there, and they can come in, pick up an application. I can scan it, I can email it to them. There's a variety of ways we can get it to them. But we're available, and we have some opportunities for them.
Okay, thank you. Chief Lewis?
Thank you, Your Honor. With the holiday, 4th of July, right around the corner on Thursday, I just want to remind people to celebrate responsibly. You can walk into any big box store, any of the grocery stores, and the first thing you're going to hit are all the little small firecrackers, the little toys, whatever, sparklers especially. People don't realize how hot those things actually get. Just for an instance here, wood burns at 575 degrees Fahrenheit. Glass melts at 900. Those sparklers are in excess of 1,200 degrees, up to 2,000 degrees. And you see kids with these things all the time. It really makes up about a quarter of the ER visits on the 4th of July. And that goes the same with the fireworks. I mean, everybody's sat at home anytime between tonight and probably Friday, and you'll hear that loud boom. People are buying the commercial grade fireworks and setting them off in their backyards. Even the smaller ones, you'd be surprised how much damage they'll do to a finger, a hand, and a face if they go off too early. Even more, people don't realize the drop down will land on your roof and it stays hot, or it lands in the grass and mulch pile until the right combination of heat, oxygen, and fuel gets there. Next thing you know, we have a house fire. Last year, there were approximately 18,500 house fires in the United States from fireworks alone, with $43 million in damage. Those are studies from the National Fire Protection Agency. So yeah, it's fun, but come out to Shiloh Park at 9:30 and watch the professionals do it and be safe.
Thank you, Chief. It's really interesting every year when it comes to Memorial Day or the holidays, when you start talking about fireworks or boating, that sometimes, even in light of the history, of what's happened each past holiday, how people forget how to vote, drink, and even deal with fireworks responsibly. So thanks for the reminder. That's a $500 fine now for phones going off in city council meetings.
That's our ESDA personnel, though. They're out protecting the streets right now from down wires, floods, lines.
Yeah.
We'll write that one off.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for your work tonight. I understand we had some, with a lot of the rain, we had branches down on Green Bay Road and some other troubled areas, so thanks.
And the viaduct.
And the viaduct.
And a power outage on Lewis Avenue too.
All right.
25th and Lewis.
So thanks for our first responders, our ESDA group, for being out and getting things resolved quickly.
A couple things tonight, Mr. Mayor. First of all, the police officer initial eligibility list has been exhausted for the Zion Police Department. So the Zion Board of Fire and Police Commissioners is accepting applications for entry-level police officer. I expect at least one, if not two, hires off of that list. I would just urge everybody who has a family, friend who might be interested to refer them to the City of Zion website under I Want To, and there you drop down under that, there's apply for a job, and they can find a link to the actual online application. That's the only way the application is being accepted. We have made posts on Facebook, and we're directing people to that. We're a very diverse community. We're looking for a diverse set of applicants to add to our initial eligibility list. Second thing, I would just add, department, we've been this last 3 weeks doing a lot of self-assessment, kind of examining the way we police, looking at other models, if there are other models that might be a little more effective. Our priority, the commissioner's priority, the mayor, and the rest of the council's priority is to deal with violent crime, first and foremost in this community, and second would be drug crimes. So we know that, and we're examining the way we go about our business to see if we can't improve that. That involves working at all ends of the spectrum. You heard tonight how we're joining this Special Investigations Unit, and that's where I would refer to us getting better and more effective at the sharp end of the sticks, so to say. One of the things we just started yesterday is a priority enforcement area. We identified an area of town that over the last 2 years has experienced 34% of our drug crimes and gun crimes, excuse me. And we are deploying 3 officers there in a little different fashion, an alternative policing style than what we've tried before, to see if that might produce some better results. And going further, as we analyze that, we might roll those out to other areas of the town. But I just want to communicate to the public that we're doing that. That's job number 1, priority number 1, and we hope to be achieving some results for you.
Also noticed online with your Shop with the Cop program. Can you tell us a little bit more detail about that and
Yes,
what you're trying to achieve with that?
Yeah, I would love to. Let me back up first and just say what a great partner Walmart is. I would say, sometimes they can get a bad rap being a big box retailer, but I was out there on Saturday to accept a $2,500 donation to restart our Shop with the Cop program. They also presented a $2,500 donation to the fire department, $3,000 donation to another group working for domestic violence issues here in the community. And this was all in conjunction with their corporate drive for Children's Miracle Network. And their corporate goal is $30 million for that organization. And they've achieved $20 million so far. And that's a heck of a lot of contribution to local communities and to a great cause. What we're striving to do with the Shop with the Cop is a couple of things. Increase the contact of our officers with the public, especially with this program with the youth in non-enforcement roles. We find that that's something that's important. Unfortunately, there's members of our community that their first or only contact with an officer may be a traumatic event, involved in a vehicle accident, a domestic disturbance at home, something like that. And so this is, we hope, designed to help alleviate some of the fear individuals in our community may have, certainly to address needs. No kid should wake up Christmas morning and not have a gift. So we want to hopefully target with partner with District 6 to identify kids that we could help in that way. And I'll tell you, it's a benefit to our officers. I often joke that our officers usually routinely don't get to see the final standing citizens of Zion. Nobody calls us when their kid makes the honor roll. we get the other calls. And as officers, you can kind of begin to think that represents the majority of your community, and it doesn't. And so it's helpful for me, it's helpful for our officers to maintain those relationships and see outside of what we may be called to on a daily basis, to have a healthy perspective and view of our community.
Thank you very much, Chief. Commissioners, anything? One thing that I wanted to talk about just very briefly is Kathy Champagne, one of our citizens, asked about the land bank agreement, where we are with that. Following the last city council meeting, I had a meeting with the board of directors with the land bank agreement. 2 days later, the executive director, Mandy Flora, met with myself, David Nabel, and Commissioner Frierson here at City Hall to talk about where we are, and they're going to make a presentation of the land bank agreement, where they are at, and what they're hoping to achieve in the first 5 years of the program, in demolishing homes and buildings that are abandoned at our next city council meeting, which will be July 16th. So we'll have a further update on the land bank and what that will mean to our community. Number 10, announcements. On July 4th, city offices will be closed for the holiday. We will be reopened at normal hours on July 5th. Again, for all of our citizens, people that are here, just practice caution as you're out driving or enjoying the holiday. 243 years of our United States being here. July 16th is a town board meeting, 6:15 p.m. July 16th, 7 p.m., Zion City Council meeting, appropriation ordinance with public hearing. With that, I make a motion. Oh, excuse me. I don't make a motion. This is a motion. Hello?
That we adjourn.
Yes. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Frierson?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye. Have a safe holiday, everyone.